It is competition season again. Always a lovely time of the year, and we're at Kinlochleven, one of the more scenic comps of the year. I'm not on my own. We have a return of Fraser. He's been hitting the gym quite a lot now. He's pretty buff, but he's going to be helping me film today. Just going to come and have a walk of the sections, see how they are looking. It's going to be a bit of a slippy one today. It's a bit wet in these rocks. Yeah, actually not too bad. But I do have a street tyre on the front where the grip, yeah, it's going to be a bit dicey in places. Good to have you back in the channel. People have been wondering where you are.
Good to be back.
I need to get you back out on the trials bike and see how high you can bunny hop now.
Oh, I don't think I'd be able to bunny hop as high. Nah, maybe. Probably just the same. I weigh more though, you know.
True.
So maybe it would just like even itself out.
Fraser is getting his PT qualification, so if you want to be trained by him, I'll put some info down below.
I will have, maybe by the time this is up, I'll have a link tree in my bio. You'll be able to fill in some details and I'll give you a call, but maybe I don't know if that'll be up yet.
Maybe you can give me some training. I've still not ridden the Onza properly yet. Actually, brakes aren't fully bedded in. This is going to be, yeah, I'm in at the deep end coming to Kinlochleven on this thing. Now, since I did the build video, I've changed a couple of things. I've actually managed to get it working in the low bottom bracket setting. I think this is maybe about a plus 10 mil. And actually the dropout fits a lot nicer now, so I'm happy with that. The only issue is the chain is literally rubbing on the frame. There's no movement there at all, so I've added a bit of Velcro to try and quieten that down a little bit. If this bike can survive today with no mechanicals, nothing coming loose, nothing breaking, I'll be quite surprised. This was honestly quite a big pain in the ass to get running, but it's working all right so far. Voiceover time. Now, there was a pretty decent turnout today. In fact, this was the best turnout for the first round of a Scottish series ever. Each category had enough riders for a full podium, which is great. It's really cool to see the Scottish scene getting bigger. Once David had given the day's info and a reminder of the general rules, we were free to start. Today I'm riding red route, which is the hardest one. Sometimes, if there's enough riders, there's an even harder yellow route, but not today. You can start on any section you like, so I chose section 3 as the first few gates looked the most doable. I've literally never ridden this bike off-road before and I wanted to ease myself in. If you're new to trials, then the rules are as follows. Each section has 6 gates for each difficulty and a 2-minute time limit. You gain 10 points for each gate you successfully pass through, and the rider with the most points at the end of the day wins. If you put a foot down, that counts as a dab and means you won't get the points for the next gate. For example, if I dab between gate 3 and 4, I can't get the 10 points for gate 4. You can put your foot down 4 times, but 5 times is a fail and you move to the next section, keeping any points you got up until the fail. Running out of time is also a fail, as is putting down both feet at the same time, putting a hand down and having both feet on the same side of the bike. You're also not allowed to pick up the bike with your hands whilst in a section. Today's comp was being run BIU style, which means you were allowed to rest a pedal or bashering without them counting as dabs. Today there's 5 sections and 3 laps, but this can change club to club or with higher entry numbers. So far this section has gone well, but this gate caught me out. Dabbing here means I can't get the 10 points even if I then get through it. Kinlochleven is infamous for being technical. Adding some moisture really adds to it. The setup for this gate was tricky, but certainly doable. I have 2 other laps to try and tidy this up a bit. Often, it's the bits between gates that can catch you out, as there's hidden dips, rocks and roots under the bracken, so I take extra care when rolling about. This gate didn't look too hard when I walked the section, but now I'm here, the bike doesn't fit as well as I thought. I feel I got slightly lucky not to slip, so I'll try a different technique next time.
Whoa.
The big mistake earlier took up a lot of time and my 2 minutes just ran out.
30, okay, yeah.
I'll take 30.
I got 30 points. An okay start, but room to improve. 30 points, that'll do me. Let's go on to a bit of a marathon section over there. There's often a bit of a queue when you arrive at a section, but that's a good opportunity to watch and encourage younger riders or study rivals' attempts at trickier gates.
Good, 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 right. As much as I'd love to feature every rider here, that's simply not possible. So apologies to those that are there that maybe hoped to be in the video.
Whoa. Unlucky.
This section's first gate looked tricky. It had a tight dip into a very steep rocky slope. Initially, I thought I could get a run up and try and bunny up a bit, but when I got there, it was tighter than I expected. Fortunately, my second option of just pedalling got me enough speed to simply roll up it with no drama. The second gate was a simple drop, so that's 20 points straight away. Gate 3 had me worried though. It was up a very big, slippery rock, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it. The way the flags had been fitted meant that there was a sneaky line around the back, which I thought was way more possible. It was still very slippery though, and a bit more tricky than I'd thought.
Oh, come on. Oh, my God.
It's a shame you can't see the other side as it's extremely tight back there. I still got the points for the gate as both hubs had passed through it, but now I can't get any points for gate 4. This looks to be one of the easier gates, but I took a big risk by putting all my weight on the back wheel and paid the price. 30 points again. It stopped raining, so I'm hoping things will get grippier and I can get further next time. Next section, and I end up making a huge mistake right off the bat. The keen-eyed might have seen which side of the poles those red flags are on. Gates can only be passed in one direction, and I just did it the wrong way.
That was an up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's why I was saying you can't go through that gate backwards, can you?
This was a stupid mistake. Fraser had even seen it, and he's never even entered a trials comp. I honestly just thought the way the section took you to the gate meant that's the way it went. Plus, getting over the other side looked just too difficult for it to go that way.
Fair enough. All right, no points.
Now, I didn't think I'd get to the end gate on this section, but to not even do the first gate and end up with 0 points was very frustrating.
Coming down the hill, it's kind of like just the flow of it.
Even after nearly 30 years of riding and competing, I should never assume which way a gate goes. Totally my fault for not looking properly. Small queue at the next section, so while the kids are doing their thing, I make sure I know where my gates are going. Like I said, Kinlochleven is tricky to ride and falls can happen. This one was sore, but she was brave, dusted herself off and carried on with her laps. It was my turn next, and this first gate was one that I really wasn't confident with at all. It was to my bad side, and I felt there's a chance for another 0 score. So, to avoid disaster, I did my most hated move, a strato dab. By putting my foot down, I make it easier to get through the gate, but I sacrifice the points. The idea is that I can then get through the next easier gates and at least get some points instead of risking a 0 again. A gap made that gate easy, and that's 10 points. This next gate has a sneaky side route, but the landing is on a very slippery rock. I have to be super accurate. Like I said, it's very slippery. Still annoying though. I got the points, but I can't get the points for the next gate now, which is down near Fraser again. I ended up being slightly lost as I had planned to go a different way, but changed my mind when I felt how slippery it was.
Coming at you.
None of these gates are big power moves, but you really need to be accurate on these smaller rocks. Landing on any slants could easily cause a slide and a dab. I was pleased to get that as I really wanted to try this next gate, which looked pretty fun. Again, not huge, but with the dual discs, it felt so smooth. My favourite gate so far. Only one gate left and very little time to do it. I'd seen a sneaky way to get around it. Rather than drop all the way down, there's a small ledge I can potentially turn on and then go back up through the gate. But I was rushing and ended up making a mess of it. It's the first section I've made it out of though, and 40 points is the best yet. I'm glad I took the strato dab.
40. Got what I wanted.
The next section also had a tricky first gate, but not tricky enough for me to try a strato dab. But my initial plan of a short run-up soon went out the window, and my improvised second option was a complete disaster. Another 0 points. Not the best first lap I've ever had.
I think that might be a 0.
I'm now onto my second lap and decide to go straight back into the same section. Fraser seems to have a keen trials eye and pointed out a sneaky line. It looked doable, so I give it a try.
Yeah,
I should have tried to get through it more rather than grip to it, but nudging a marker is allowed, so that counts and gives me 10 points. It takes a bit of effort to get to the next gate. I feel if I can be accurate, I can get through it, and after a short rest, I give it a good try. Quite happy to get that, but then I make another stupid mistake. From the top, it was hard to see the lower red gates, so I thought I only had to go down one level.
That's number 4.
Fortunately, Fraser came to my rescue again and pointed out my error. Now, outside assistance isn't always allowed, but it was today, thankfully. I've wasted a bit of time, but I would have failed the section if I'd carried on where I was going.
45 seconds.
When walking a section, I had thought a hook would work, but now I'm here, I don't think that's my best option. Again, I improvise and manage to get into a semi-okay side-up position, which ends up working pretty well. But with seconds left and my energy used up, I rush to the next gate and don't make it up. Fraser wonders if both my axles made it through and whether I should get the points, but I leave it up to the observers, who end up saying it's a failure. I actually agree with them, as I feel the spirit of a gate is to get up the rock, and I didn't. 30 points again, but that's a whole lot better than the 0 I got last time. My pal Alex Shovelin was here too. Shame I really didn't get to see him ride, but he was on a cool bike as usual.
Look at that headset special, have you like made that from a boat?
Aye. We like custom parts, don't we? Obviously not a weight weenie. Nah.
Things are starting to dry up and become grippier, but that doesn't make this first gate any easier, so out comes the foot again. Never a pretty move, and this one was particularly messy. Most riders seem to be going down and up through this gate, but my gap technique worked last time, so I send it again. I make my way up to the slippery gate. I have a small bit of flat area to take off, but it's a bit muddy, making it hard to be accurate. But I managed to pin the landing and not slip, so that's an improvement from last time. I want to use a bit of momentum to get through this gate, but I make a small mistake which stalls me. This means I spend more time on the small slippery rocks, increasing my chance of a slide. But I manage to keep feet up and then cruise through the next fun gate.
Watch out down there.
Just the tricky final gate left, and I try my sneaky line again. It's very tight with the pole, and at the last moment I lost confidence, thinking I was going to jump straight into it. Slightly better than last time, but I really want to get this gate on the third lap. I ran out of time too, but I definitely rode it better.
Thank you very much. Oh, I was going to get that one then.
Look at that house just sitting right there. Welcome to the vlog.
Back to the section I started on. I definitely have some room to improve here. The first gate goes easily. I'm definitely noticing there's more grip now. Same thing with the second gate. So far so good. The next gate is where I made mistakes though. First, I gotta get there. The setup for this next jump is horrible. The rocks I put my front wheel on wobble, and I only have a small area my back tyre can go. This jump is also to my bad side, but the height is quite small. I managed to get the preload perfectly on the only solid grippy rock, and that made jump to front wheel a lot easier. I then learned from my previous lap and adjust my approach to this next gate, turning it into a fairly simple side hop. I then carefully ride to the next gate, which I hope has dried up and become a little grippier, so I can at least dare try it. The next 2 gates can almost be done in one move if my tyre grips, but I honestly don't know if it will. I can feel my tyres struggling, so I make the decision to at least get through this first gate to make sure I get the points for it.
How long? 30.
Getting the next gate from this position would be tricky, so I drop down to see if it's any easier from below. But by this point I had 0 energy and dropped a dab. I didn't have enough time to do this gate anyway, but still a huge improvement from last time.
Thanks. Do some star jumps.
Oh no. Oh man, the grip is getting way better now it's drying up.
I thought you were going to go here and just... You could, like if you were here,
yeah,
you would jump.
So on the first lap I looked at that and I literally I couldn't even stand on this, but that's dried up, so maybe if I get this far again I'll try that. Right, we're good. There you go.
Back to the section with the crazy first gate. This time I won't go through it backwards like a noob. Instead, I'll do an equally noob mistake. Though, in my defence, I'm breaking a rule I never knew existed. Back when I competed, you could use a strato dab to get around corners like this. Now, I haven't used a strato dab like this for about 20 years, and I didn't know that around 5 years ago, the rules changed, and you can no longer approach a gate from the back and dab. I think because of my comp experience and confidence in doing the illegal dab, the observer wasn't 100% sure that it was not allowed. All these observers are parents that have volunteered. So he let me carry on and would ask David later. I was blissfully unaware I'd just got another 0 and thought I was doing great. I didn't get to the end of the section, but I had managed to get quite far.
A bit of controversy?
Yeah. So I came here.
Yeah.
Foot down.
Stab. Yeah, okay, so that's a 5.
Yeah. Is that a 5, is it?
Yeah, that's a 5. Yeah. So there's a line from between the gates that extends beyond the gate. And if you approach the gate from behind, you can do it on your bike, but if you put a foot down and dab, it used to be a technical dab and it was allowed, and then they changed the rules.
So you got a 0?
The decision is it's a 5.
Done.
Learning, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah, right, well we'll get it next time then.
Yeah.
What's the tune you were doing that?
I did, yeah, because the wheels come loose. So the thing was, the shank was too long, so I got the bolt and tapped it down just the right length to hit the back of these threads. Yeah. And then chopped off enough just to put that in and lost it. So it just, and it looks quite good.
Kill Bill.
Right, anyway, last section of lap 2, and has it got any grippier? The first gate went easily last time, and I repeat my technique successfully. The drop is smashed out, and that's 20 points done and dusted. Now, can I get through the tight and slippery gate 3? No innuendos meant. I saved those for bike builds. Great success! And more valuable points in the bag. The next rock looks much grippier now, but I feel like 2 wheels on it is safer. Turns out I was wrong. Annoying, but at least I stayed on the bike. There's a bit of an XE ride to their next gate, and props to Fraser for not tripping over. Gate 5 is approached from the other side. Rather than drop down and have to get up a big rock, I find a sneaky tight line that should save some time. That's not possible with the final gate though, and I need to drop down a couple of potentially slippery rocks.
Go on.
But once down, the grip wasn't too bad. All I need to do is gap and hook through gate 6 and roll through the end gate. 50 points is the best yet. It's my last lap now, and it's got a lot warmer and drier, which means the most grip yet. I'm still not taking any chances with this gate though, and as much as I hate strato dabs, this has worked for me well in this section.
Disgusting.
Gate 2 is passed with my same gap technique as before. and I slipped my way through gate 3. I wish you could see how awkward this actually was. Gate 4 and 5 had tons of grip and went really nicely. Just gate 6 left and my last chance to get it cleanly. And I got it, but only just. If that pole had fallen over, it wouldn't have counted. But it did, and another 50 points. Stoked.
50.
This next section had been tricky on both previous laps, and I made it tricky for myself this time by not resting enough after the last section. I simply leaned too much to my right and put too much weight on the same rock I slipped on last time. Some tougher observers might have said moving the post that much is a fail, but I think she was quite lenient this time. Another stupid mistake. As I pivoted round, my rear tyre snagged on a root and stopped my momentum unexpectedly. At least this time I remembered to go all the way to the bottom, saving a bunch of time. However, I feel I got lucky with this gate last time. Can I repeat the same move? No I can't. Because of my previous dab, I wouldn't have got the points anyway, but you always want to make it through a gate regardless. This is where I failed last time. This is actually one of the bigger moves today. I know I can do it, but I need to be accurate. Maybe if I knew the bike better, I could get set up and jump straight up to front wheel, but I don't quite know the bike enough for that. So instead, I go for a gap to hook, which actually works. I was a little surprised. I only have a couple of seconds left though. Not enough time to rest or get well set up, and sadly I just didn't get the bike where it needed to be. I got further than before, but this didn't feel like a great ride.
I was going to say I'd get it better next time, but there's no next time. Thanks for observing.
We managed to catch up with fellow Red Route rider Adam Cox. He's travelled up from Manchester and this is his second ever comp. Now I know him as a very decent street trials rider, but now he has the comp bug and has taken to it like a duck to water. I'm really impressed with his skills with going to his bad side. He's getting up stuff I know I can't on the Onza. He's riding a much more modern comp bike and the rear wheel accuracy is crazy good. I rode his bike after the comp and I still don't understand how people can ride them so well. They're just so extreme. But it obviously works for him, and not only is he cleaning the tricky gates, he's doing it really quickly too. But even he gets caught out by the last 2 gates, which makes me feel a little better. Can I finally get to the end of this section? Well, that's not the best start I've had, that's for sure. But no dabs yet, so that's good. I can't side up this to my bad side, so I take a straighter line. It's easier, but it takes longer to get set up. I also don't have the rear wheel accuracy to do this next bit on the rear wheel, so I take the longer route. I got this next gate last time, and I really want to do it again.
Are you kidding me?
You can hear my frustration. I was quite confused as to what happened. I know my front wheel moved because it was on unstable rocks, but my back wheel felt like it was on a wobbly rock too, when I was sure it wasn't. I'll find out soon what might have caused this mistake. No points for that gate this time. But the next gate goes fine. Now the final gates. Can I finally get out of this section? Nope. I kind of rushed it, but I still expected it to grip more than that. Ah well, still got a few decent points. I figured out that the weird feeling I had from the rear wheel was a loose rotor. Not saying that I'd have done better if it was tighter, but I'd have definitely finished that section if it was.
Right, let's go see if we can get this gate number 1 on the highest one. 0 2 times so far. That's no good, Fraser.
No.
Right, so I can't go the wrong way through the gate, I can't dab around it, and getting up the correct way looks almost impossible. But I have spied a way I think I might stand a chance. There's a fist-sized chunk of semi-firm soil that if I can get a solid takeoff from, I might be able to hook through the gate. Did I say semi-firm? Let's change that to loose as hell. But all is not lost. I can't get the points for this gate, but I'm not in a bad position to drop another dab and get up to find points in the next gates. Now after the comp, myself and Adam tried that gate a few more times, and I actually did manage to clean it. Sadly, we didn't get on camera, but Adam was a witness. I was pretty stoked. Just like I was stoked to clean gate 2 and finally have some points for this section. Gate 3 was a fairly simple wheel swap, but with the difficulty of having to jump both my front and back wheel accurately onto higher rocks. But I got it pretty well, then had a couple of roll downs to get to gate number 4. Again, fair play to Fraser for filming whilst following me down the tech. Gate number 4 wasn't too bad. The landing was a nice bit of rock, so gave plenty of grip confidence. Gate number 5 had a slight corner to go around, but again, riding bigger rocks is a little easier and I enjoy these moves quite a bit. Just one more gate left, but hardly any time to do it. I've got up this in previous comps, but I rush it this time and land completely wrong. Oh well, still got pretty far and I'm just happy to get some decent points in this section.
Got some points.
Right, last section. Let's see if we can do better than last time and finally get it clean. First 2 gates are a breeze as usual, but this third gate makes me nervous. There's no guarantee I can get it cleanly. Other than a slight frame tap, which is allowed, I got it the best yet. Same goes for the rock that caught me out the previous 2 laps. This next gate makes me a little nervous too. There's a bit of rock that sticks out just where my pedal might go. If I go too much to the right, I'll slip off the rock. Fortunately, neither happened and only one gate stands between me and a clean. And there we have it, finishing on a high with a clean section. Stoked.
Cheers.
Is it?
Only one yet.
Oh, thanks for observing.
You're welcome, good job.
Cheers, thank you.
Once everyone had finished and the scores added up, it was podium time, starting with primary route.
Very improved rider. In primary, in 3rd place, Matt Fraser. Rory Cowan. 2nd place, Alistair Pollock takes top 10. We'll move to primary senior. In 3rd place, we have Claire McConey. You can take the 2nd step and I'll sort you out.
Yay!
Jacob Simpson. So in 3rd place we have Audrey Archibald.
Yes, Audrey!
Isla Boyle in 2nd place. Emilia Mackay. Innes Milne in 3rd place. Well done, Innes. But in 2nd place, Campbell Milne. Austin Ledwich. Braden Bullet. So Braden gets 3rd place. And Braden in 2nd place. Paul Tate, please come up. Top step rider, David Fraser. And might be a wee bit upset. Joshua Hanlon takes third place. And Kyle North had a stunning ride to take second place. And that Alex Chauvelin got his first 60. And he takes the top 10. And an expert, really pleased to see Adam Cox come up from Manchester. First place. Nathan Jackson took second place. Ali Clarkson takes the top step. So thank you very much for travelling and have a safe trip home. The scores will go up on a PDS.
I really hope you liked this video. This was good fun to come back to the comps again. If you fancy coming to a trial up in Scotland, I can really recommend it. I'll put some details down below. But until next time, have an amazing one and I'll see you then. Bye bye.